If you struggle with the duality between, on one side, chasing goals, planning everything to the last detail, believing that reaching the goal will give you something in a final completion sort of way, that when I reach the top of the corporate ladder, I will get something which is something I've always been seeking. Or if I find the relationship of my dreams, something inside me will, I will get the thing. Or if I make a certain amount of money, or if I get a certain kind of success, or I get enlightenment, or I am healed, something will happen when I reach that destination. That's one side. On the other side, you realize that it's all empty, and how many other goals you crack, how many other times you achieve, there's always this feeling of something is missing. And so you go on to the other extreme of there is no goal and you're just floating on the endless journey, and you're just drifting through life with this belief that, yeah, everything is empty, there is no meaning, and that's it. Life is what we make of it. There is nothing bigger, there is no bigger picture. If you have experienced this duality, or you're oscillating between it and you're struggling, and both sides you just feel empty, I will be sharing my journey and my insights that helped me to break out of this, and hopefully that gives you something, that sparks something in you for you to move beyond this, because there is something beyond this. For the longest time I was trapped in this duality. I was not really chasing the corporate ladder, but definitely I felt like enlightenment would take away all the problems, all the suffering, all the pain. Life would become perfect. If I heal, everything will become perfect. Money, I kind of always saw it that it will not solve the problems, but there's also the very human part. Yes, money will solve all the problems. And when I realized the emptiness of all of that, I went to the other extreme of, yes, everything is empty, everything is meaningless. And I was just floating and drifting. And in that, even spirituality became an addiction for me. In that, I was just chasing getting high, or having these visions, going to other dimensions, other realms, meeting all of these entities, healing, learning all about all of the spiritual stuff. But there was no purpose to any of it. It was just, yeah, it's interesting. I like it. I enjoy it, and that in and of itself can be a purpose. But eventually, it did dry up, and I started feeling empty once again. That same feeling I had had all my life, trying to fill that void that I later realized can only be filled by the thing that is meant to fill it. We can have many voids, and each void can only be filled by that which is meant to fill it. And the void I am talking about is the void of purpose and meaning. And I once I found that, once I was able to fill that void within myself, once I found the fulfillment as a state, rather than based on what I'm doing, rather than based on reaching a certain destination or a certain goal, that is when I was able to understand that the void is creating the belief, the idea that the thing is going to give me the satisfaction and the feeling of fulfillment. And so I would always be playing this game of the next destination. And when I reach the next destination, this question of, and now what? And now what? And now what? I got it. And now what? The emptiness is still there. The whole thing was driven by the idea that there is an end, that there is an end. All the seeking comes to an end. On the other side was the idea that it's an infinite journey, but there is no meaning, there is no purpose. Everything is made up. I can give it meaning, I can give it purpose, but it's my meaning, my purpose, and if I don't, then it's all empty. And it was only in the last few years that I started breaking through this and realizing that fulfillment is the state. It's when I'm feeling fulfilled and complete with life the way it is, and understanding that my divine purpose is being fulfilled in this moment by actively engaging with the moment and figuring out what I'm meant to do. Then I'm not looking for a destination that will give me fulfillment. I'm not also denying that there is a divine purpose, that there is a bigger picture. But it's not the idea that there is a divine purpose and a bigger picture that's definite and a clear destiny, and it's exactly what's going to happen. What started unfolding for me was this divine unfolding, that it's an infinite unfolding. There is no fixed future, there is no guaranteed outcome. The universe is constantly evolving, the divine is constantly evolving and engaging with the present moment as it evolves. And in that is the beauty, in that is the fulfillment, is in engaging with the present moment and engaging with the journey, knowing that it goes on forever, knowing that the fulfillment is here and now. It's not going to happen when I reach a certain stage. I am fulfilled and I'm fulfilled and I'm fulfilled. And my fulfillment is refueling with every moment, with engaging with every moment. It's not happening because I did something. It's not happening because I got somewhere, because I achieved something. All of that feels amazing. It feels amazing. It's I'm not in the opinion of this extreme spirituality where everything is meaningless and everything is empty and there's no point of chasing your dreams and fulfilling your desires and having success and labels are empty and titles are meaningless. I don't believe that. I do believe that titles have power, labels have power. There are roles and positions that we are meant to fulfill, we are meant to play, whether you're a CEO, whether you're a manager, whether you're an employee, whether you're whatever. All of those roles are important. And finding the role, finding the purpose, without attaching to it this need for it to fulfill you. You are fulfilling the role. You are fulfilling the role. It's not the other way around. The fulfillment is there within you already. The role is not fulfilling you. The role feels great, but it's who you are is fulfilled. And if you're to move to a different role, or that role is to end, and you're meant to do something different in life, or you're meant to step back and do nothing, in that also there is fulfillment. In that also there is purpose. In that also there is peace and joy and pleasure and everything. And that's the difference. Is that it stops being that the thing, whether it's the role, whether it's the destination, whether it's the success, the other person, or the divine giving you meaning or purpose. It's already there. And only when that void is filled can we experience this. If we keep looking outside for someone to validate us, to give our existence meaning, to tell us what is our purpose, as though it's a definite fixed thing and we will get the stamp of approval and that's the end of the story. You will always be seeking, always feel empty. And if you, especially as I described, if you've experienced this duality, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Even if you pretend that everything is empty, or you try and derive meaning from goals and destinations, that void doesn't go away. It doesn't go away. Finding the way to fill that's other than everything I've shared, I don't have any other words to explain it, but this is exactly what I teach people to experience. And a lot of it is beyond words. So if these words help you and you're able to find it, amazing. If these words inspire you to go find it and you want my support, my help, it would be my absolute pleasure, because this finding this has been one of the biggest turning points of my life. It has been the thing that has just made my life experience so much richer, so much more beautiful, and so much calmer, so much more peaceful. It's just just feels amazing. That's all I can say. And I know what living without this feels like. I know how painful it is. At the root of it, it's pain. Whether it feels empty, whether it feels anxious, whatever it feels, it just it's painful. How it feels, and this is one of the things I really love helping people is to get out of this trap, because it's here, it's already here, and you can have it. You can experience fulfillment for real without needing it all to end. I used to be in this mindset for such a long time. I was just waiting for it to end. When will it all end? And that can mean my life ends, that can mean whatever ends, the world ends, some way for it to end. I used to be suicidal for one point, then I got out of that. I was still waiting for the world to end in some way so that my misery can end, so my suffering can end, so this emptiness can end, so it all comes to a stop. But when you find this, you don't need it to come to a stop. You don't need to believe that life ends when you die. That is when you can see the reality for what it is, that the soul is eternal. It is an infinite journey, and that's beautiful. We get to enjoy life forever, forever, eternally, infinitely, expanding, evolving, changing. We get to enjoy that forever. So if you feel inspired to connect with this energy, with this joy and love for life, it will be my absolute pleasure to support you in whatever way I'm meant to. That's it. That's my message for today, day 55. And I will see you tomorrow for day 56. If you have any thoughts, any questions, you can drop them in the comments. If you found this helpful, please give it a like. If you feel inspired, share it with someone. And I will see you tomorrow. Thank you.